Daniel Cornelio qualified as a sports therapist, but has since completed numerous courses to enhance his knowledge and offering. Although practicing for over 5 years, FitBody was created around 2 years ago, with the aim of providing a structured and effective approach to exercise. Daniel promises to help his clients reach their fitness, health and well-being goals.
Well, personally, I like to provide people with the type of service they hope to expect. They come in, obviously I think it's quite a relaxed environment. There's nothing to be afraid of. It's only me and the person for the most part, so they can be very at ease with it. And what I try and do is, first of all, listen out to why it is that they've come. What's the reason, whether it's medical, whether it's some sort of personal reason, aesthetically, whatever it may be. I try and listen out because it will give me a better understanding for later on to maybe help them, push them and coach them towards their goals. All right, just change, let's just do some star jumps. Doesn't have to be any great pace, just to get you going, get some movement in you.
So each program very much geared around the individual needs and requirements?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can't treat certain individuals. I mean, I've had from 15-year-old boys and girls come to 70-year-old individuals, so you can't obviously treat everyone in the same manner. Several principles will always apply to everyone, but obviously everything's different. If someone comes and they've got high blood pressure, they've got diabetes, or if they're epileptic, I mean, it really depends on the individual's needs and what that person wants to achieve.
With regards a general workout, what would it entail?
Well, I like to focus a lot on bodyweight exercises. I'm a big believer with bodyweight exercises. There's no need for a lot of heavy weights, anything like that. So, I mean, when people come in, they're always very surprised when they first come in that I have really got a lot of equipment. I mean, I've got just a few dumbbells, a few kettlebells, a TRX, resistance bands, a bicycle, boxing bag, and I mean, it's very simple. But I like to keep it like that, and for the most part, people tend to, I think, enjoy it more because sometimes machines and heavy weights can be a bit off-putting to a lot of people. That's why they don't like going to the gym.
With plenty on offer in Gibraltar in terms of fitness, it's very much finding what workout regime suits a specific individual.
Like they say, variety is the spice of life, and for the most part, I always tend to try and change a lot of the workouts for people throughout a certain time. I'm not one to change it every single time, but again, everyone's different. Some people come and they're very blunt and say, look, I get bored really easily, so I'm inclined then to try and change the workouts very frequently just to accommodate for that person so they don't get bored. Other people are happy and are patient to know that, well, if we're just starting out, we've got to start at a bottom level and work our way up and stick to a certain routine for maybe a couple of months and maybe have a few changes here and there. They will themselves see the changes, maybe with the repetitions they can achieve in 2 months down the road than they have at the beginning. But I mean, again, it all really depends. You have to feed off, say, the person. When the person comes and after a while you get to know them and you get to see and get a good sense of their character and see how they develop, and it really depends how well they do to how often the workouts are changed.
Before Daniel's next clients arrived, I took the opportunity to go through some exercises and get a bit of a workout myself.
So the TRX, it's probably my favorite piece of equipment that I own. So if we were going to do a press up, a version of a press up, what you do is you just stand nice and straight. Okay, you engage your core. So already I've got my stomach nice and tight and I've tensed my glutes, so you're nice and straight. And what you do is you bring your body down and you press up. So it would be just like doing a press up on the floor. The advantage with this is if, say, you're a beginner or you've got knee problems or anything and you don't want to go on the floor, you can, if you stand up higher, you are lighter. The further back you go, the harder it is because gravity is working against you.
Circuit training is one of the methods he particularly enjoys, but what are the benefits here?
I like circuit training. I've always been a big fan of the circuit training. I think it's very traditionally based. I know there's lots of other classes available in Gibraltar, which is great because it caters for lots of individuals and different tastes. People don't like circuits, maybe they go for Zumba or anything it is. I like to do circuit training. I've always found over the years that it's the best way to get to a goal by doing full body exercises, maybe incorporating some interval training, and to an extent, most people can do it, if not everyone can do it. So I've always found it quite useful in that way. With the boxing, very simple. If you stand with your left foot forward, ¿vale? I stand like this, so your left hand will come across to my left hand, and then your right will come across to my right. Exercise that we're going to do here is a squat and row. So you're going to squat down, squat up, and you pull in at the same time. So you squat down. You want to try and keep your stomach engaged, and keep your glutes engaged, so you can work more muscles than just your chest and triceps. Entonces, if we're going to do the reverse, we'll do a row, okay? I think it keeps the pace high. It keeps the pace high, so you won't get bored because it doesn't really give you much of a chance. You might have maybe a 30-second burst of an exercise, and you've got maybe a few seconds of a breather, then you start again, and you go around. Maybe the way I do it here, we've got 8 stations, we go around 8 times, then I give them a break where they can grab a drink of water, and then we'll start again. And it will go like that. Maybe I break it down in the middle just to give them something different. But I think they do tend to like the fast pace of it.
I come to circuit class because I get really bored with exercise. So when I come to circuit, not only does it change throughout the class, but it changes regularly with weeks. So it really keeps me busy and keeps me motivated to keep coming.
Vale, the 1 and 2 with the dumbbells, standard stuff, okay, the swings.
Somebody told me you had a boyfriend who looked like a girlfriend that I had in bed.
You also run group sessions, so obviously suited to some individuals who prefer perhaps that environment?
Yeah, I mean, the classes have been popular over the years. A lot of people enjoy coming to train with like-minded individuals. Irrespective of the ability, I've found that I can normally cater for a good spectrum of fitness abilities, both for men and for women, and I think the classes they provide just a bit more interaction, social interaction with other people.
I enjoy coming to the circuit class because apart from that, Daniel is actually quite a good personal trainer, and he actually fits the training program around what your needs are, not so much as a box standard training program, but also that a lot of the people that also come to the class are quite friendly.
They make like alliances and friends whilst they come, and that's just for maybe an hour a week that they come, or a couple of hours a week that they come. They do a bit of a class, but they enjoy it. The person beside you might be very fit and might be able to do 5 times more than you can. I wouldn't worry about that. You try and do as much as you can, and if what you can do is 5, I can do 10, but you can do 15, it doesn't really matter because you're only there to train for yourself, so it doesn't matter. And I found it's good because even the fittest of person can still come and enjoy it. To even the newest of beginners can come and still experience a good workout.
Have you had particular success stories perhaps that stand out for you with regards to your clients over the years?
Yeah, I think I've had quite a good success with certain clients. I mean, I've had, if I name them by name, I mean, I've had Kyle Pacino. He did very well back must have been about 3 or 4 years ago now. I mean, recently had the Fat to Fit girls. I mean, they did well considering it was a short amount of time. It was just a 6-month span. I mean, in order to change habits, it can take a long time. I mean, everyone's different. If everyone was good at it and everyone would, within 3 months, they can change their lifestyle and change their habit, we wouldn't be having any type of, like, say, obesity problem that there is in Western society, because you could just give someone 3 months of a workout, they change their habits, change their lifestyle, and check them back in a year, and they've completely changed their life. Unfortunately, it's not that simple, so you need to be patient and just try and encourage and motivate.
Okay, and lastly, how would you describe yourself as an instructor? What do you bring to these sessions, these one-to-one classes or group classes?
I think for the most part I can be quite laid back. I'm not one really to shout. I've always found that I can get everyone to do whatever it is I want without having to shout. Where I've asked them to do a certain exercise, yeah, people might groan and moan, but for the most part they will still do it. I've never had anyone tell me, unless it's for a reason because they're injured, that they can't do something, which is fair enough. I've never had anyone refuse an exercise because, I don't know, I think it's just the approach, and at the end of the day it's a personal thing, and you spend hours on end with individuals, either here or at the end of your phone, and you do develop that rapport with the person and you become friends. And so I think they do learn to trust you, and if you're saying, let's do this or give me 5 more, they will do it. And I don't need to come, it's not the army, I don't need to shout, and no, I don't need to do it in that way. Other people might have their own different methods, it's fine. By nature, I am like that anyway. So I was always told, if you're like that in life, then be like that all the time. Don't change just because you're going into a job and then when you go out you're slightly different. So I tend to keep myself the same as I am. You'll find me the same here that you'll find me outside in town.